Welcome back. Lonnie Alameda going for yet another championship, 6-time ACC Coach of the Year. And she is going with Ashton Danley, third time she's pitched this weekend.
But it'll be her first start. This is her 14th start on the year. She has the most starts of any pitcher in the circle for Florida State. A trusted arm, but don't get too comfortable, Pam. I'm expecting to see quite a few arms for Florida State today.
Yes, the pattern has been let your starter go for 2 or 3 innings and then go into the pen. It is a true pitching staff. Alex Brown leading things off, and the ACC championship game is underway. Clemson batting .332 on the team, 11th in the nation in doubles per game. Taylor Pipkins, how about that grand slam the other day?
Man, the freshman's so hot here at the end of the year, right when they need her.
And Maddie Moore, who bats second, is one of the best players, not just in this conference, but in the country. A great second baseman, also handles the bat really well. She has a home run in this ACC championship. Danley ahead 0-2, and only took 3 pitches to set down Brown.
You expect efficiency out of the circle for Florida State, but this one right here, just 3 pitches to get her first strikeout. And for Danley in the circle, she throws in the mid to upper 60s. She executes tight spin on her drop and leans heavily on her curve. Over 50% of her outs are on the ground, and the off-speed drop, that's a difference maker for her.
Second team all-conference for Danley, who also is a good hitter, and she starts Moore off with some slow stuff. Maddie Moore is a menace.
And to disrupt the timing of a big hitter like Moore, you need to make sure that you get her out of her legs, so that changeup to start her off. A good idea, knowing that Moore does a good job of staying in her legs.
Clemson going with the all-purples today, trimmed in orange. Believe it or not, they have never beaten Florida State. This is only the 8th time they've played, which is surprising enough, but Clemson 0-7 against the Seminoles. What a big win this would be. Inside, did it clip her? Nope. Alex Leap behind the plate this afternoon. We have a lot of umpires today. We have 6 of them on the field, including up the lines, a replay official, and also Rick Cowan taking a look at the pitch clock to make sure everything is a go. 2-1 is pounded to Isa Torres, who's a very good shortstop. Knew she had time, so she took a couple of steps. And Florida State defense behind Danley have had a couple of hiccups, but Janai Kerr out there in center field, where she is playing for the injured Kennedy Harp, Wacaser, and Dak. And Jason Beecham, Isa Torres, very solid on that left side. And Michaela Edenfield, the only Seminole who has played in every game this year, and she's a catcher. And she's started every game.
Well, and the maturity that she brings back behind the dish, you're seeing a young career pay off dividends now in the final season as a Seminole. She has learned so much through so many different catchers, has caught so many different pitchers for Florida State, and now so mature back behind the dish.
Ashton Danley with marked improvement this year over last year, and certainly having someone like Edenfield behind the plate is a big help. And you see the walks are way down as Julia Noller swings through.
And I think it's the fact that she's been able to incorporate that changeup so well, and the way that this pitching staff has been used together has made each of the pitchers better, because when they start to run into problems, there's someone right behind them to back them up.
Florida State has only walked 1 batter in 2 games in this ACC championship. It was Danley in the quarterfinals against Georgia Tech. All year, they have only walked 73 people, which is astonishing. Only 73 walks. They've hit 75 home runs, so Florida State, it's more likely they're going to hit a home run than their pitchers are going to walk a batter.
But to that point, when a pitcher starts to get into trouble, Lonnie Alameda not afraid to go to the circle, make a change, and this pitching staff does not get their feelings hurt when someone else needs to take the ball.
And as soon as we say that, Danley gives up the walk. She has given up both of them for Florida State in this tournament.
But they are competitive pitches. They're looking for swings and misses early in this game, looking to see if emotion can get a swing off the shoulder. But down in the zone, takes the walk, a very disciplined at bat for Noller.
And they have yet to give up an earned run. Had a couple of hiccups in the field. Again, not afraid to use that off-speed stuff to start things off. Macy Cintron, the ACC Freshman of the Year. Hitting over .312 on the season and hitting cleanup for John Rittman.
But they're going to have to go against this changeup. Obviously, the game plan early in this game is to mix speeds and keep the ball slow coming to the plate. So many changeups here in the first inning for Danley.
She's behind 0-2. Noller over at first. That's foul. Fielded very nicely by Mr. Rittman.
That's right. Stay low, move through. He knows the drill. He's only been saying it for a couple decades.
In his 6 years, the ACC Coach of the Year in 2021, 2 times was the Pac-10 Coach of the Year. When he was at Stanford, Lonnie Alameda was an assistant on his staff. When you played, was it the Pac-10 or the Pac-8?
Wow.
Pac-2?
Wow, Pamela. I'm going to say Pac-10, Conference of Champions. And my records obviously still hold because it is a conference no more.
Unfortunately, it is sort of the Pac-2. Citron yesterday set a Clemson single-game record by walking 4 times. Taps it. Danley, who's a very good athlete, calmly turns and strands Noller over at first. Florida State bats when we come back.
Reese Basinger in the circle for Clemson, this year's ACC Pitcher of the Year. She has had 10 complete games, 1 shutout. The transfer from Winthrop has thrown masterfully for Clemson, filling the need for some high-quality pitching that graduated from a season ago. Valerie Cagle, Millie Thompson, Reagan Spencer, all gone. They fill that need with Reese Basinger, the 2nd most wins in the ACC this season.
And she has now started all 3 games of this ACC championship, has no decisions as of yet. It's been Reese and Brook McCubbin. They do not have the depth in the bullpens that Florida State does. Issa Torres sets things going for this potent lineup, and Katie Jack has shown some power.
Yeah, you like calling those Dak Jacks. I think you want another one today. Both of her hits here in the postseason have been extra bases.
Home run and a double for Katie Dak, the Texas A&M transfer, who will bat 3rd after Kerr comes in. Torres first team All-ACC. Led the ACC in hits during the regular season. And she is hitting almost 100 points higher than last year when she had a great freshman season.
That batting average is improved by the way that she's swinging the bat. Only 4 strikeouts on the year, one of the toughest hitters to strike out in the nation.
And now she's getting a look at a 3-1 pitch from Basinger. Torres chops it, handled nicely, easy out for Noller.
In the circle, Basinger is going to throw 63, 64 miles an hour. Spin-focused pitcher with a curve to both sides of the plate and a drop. She has a fantastic changeup and will throw it multiple times to batters, but she does not waste time in the circle. Very efficient pitch to pitch.
Janai Kerr batting 2nd. Skies one. Noller grabs it right in front of her dugout. They get Kerr on just 1 pitch. And the defense for the Clemson Tigers struggled with some errors yesterday, wouldn't you say, Jen?
They did. I did not expect to see 9 combined errors in that semifinal game, but Pam, to the point of this team, they are not known for those kind of results.
Dak with another powerful swing, takes the wide turn, but that's a really good job by Kylie Johnson in left to cut it off. But Katie Dak continues to be hot. Had to settle for a single. We're not used to seeing her stop at first.
Ridiculous. Can't believe she didn't push the pedal to the metal on that one. No, but seriously, though, it got to the wall so quickly, and a quick recovery by Johnson out there and left off the wall prevented Dak from being able to advance an additional 60 feet.
And here comes Michaela Edenfield. Hit a home run yesterday in the semifinal against Duke to give Florida State a 3-1 lead. They needed it as Duke scored a run in the 7th. The Seminoles came away with the victory. Lonnie Alameda has tinkered with her lineup a little bit. Jason E. Beecham, who has really been struggling over the last 16 games, has been dropped all the way down to 7th in the lineup.
And it's not a punishment to be moved down in the lineup. It actually just gives her the potential to grab some better pitches, knowing that she's sitting outside of that power 1, 2, 3, 4 spot in the lineup where she spent most of the season.
And last season as well, when she was National Freshman of the Year, Dak thought about it, but then had to hustle back after the quick throw from Abby Vieira. And major props to Vieira. Look at her with the pink on for Lonnie Alameda.
Well, and that second additional step almost got her.
Edenfield sends it the opposite way, but it's playable right at the lip of the track. Grabbed by Pipkins. Dak's 2-out single does no harm. We're scoreless after 1. We played in the rain yesterday in Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay, but to be fair, Pam, you and I did not play. We called it.
I was almost as miserable, I think.
No chance. Those were really difficult circumstances out there on the field. So kudos to Virginia Tech and Clemson facing off yesterday in the rain and cold.
Much better today. Abby Vieira gets the first hit of the day, leading off the second. First hit of the day for Clemson. She's 4 for 7 in this ACC championship.
And I give it to a catcher who's able to call an entire game back behind the dish, realize where the zone is being called, and attack those pitches that are in her wheelhouse. Not trying to chase outside the zone. Abby Vieira, a huge bat for them in that 5 slot in the lineup to lead off the inning.
Ashton Danley coming out for her second inning, and Marion Collins is one of 3 true freshmen that have really made an impact in the starting lineup this year for Clemson. You mentioned all the talent they lost from last year, including Mackenzie Clark in the field, Aaliyah Logaleo, and the pitchers you mentioned, and Collins has stepped in beautifully.
They graduated 7 seniors out of that lineup last season, and with that needed to find some young, fresh talent, and Macy Cintron, probably the biggest name or biggest contributor this season in her freshman year, throwing on both sides of the ball, a pitcher and a hitter. When we talked to Coach Rittman about her, he said, you know what? She's just one of those players that comes in and infuses energy into the people around her and has been so constant in the circle and at the plate.
Marion Collins, freshman from Marietta, Georgia. There's Macy, freshman of the year, who is batting cleanup. Collins sends it back. Collins also on the all-freshman team.
Coach Rittman said about Collins, he said, you know, in years past, it's been all softball and pretty serious, but this year, this team's fun. And I don't hear Coach Rittman talk about having softball be fun very often. I think this freshman class has given him a spark of energy that he's really enjoyed this season.
Collins, foul tip handled by Edenfield. Second strikeout for Danley.
There's a big swing a couple days ago for Taylor Pipkins. A bat back and forth battle against Virginia. And what did she do? With bases juiced, she hit off the light pole, a huge grand slam. 7-4 win for them in the quarterfinal game.
That was a game that had 4 lead changes. Just back and forth after a slow start between Virginia and Clemson, and Pipkins, that blast gave them the victory, and that comeback was nothing compared to yesterday when they were down 7 in the 6th inning. Pipkins playing right field.
More changeups, Pam. They know that these hitters love to just settle in, get in those legs, and drive the ball deep. But by changing up the speed, it makes it really difficult to keep the barrel back and hit with a ton of power.
Sierra over at first. She led off this inning with a single. Edenfield, good block. Keeps it in front of her.
I don't know that you can talk about Michaela Edenfield enough, and just the way that she has evolved as a catcher back there behind the dish. Her freshman year, they actually redshirted her to be able to gain some more learning and knowledge and skill behind the plate. A big two-way player in high school, volleyball and softball.
And just a tremendous athlete. That's way out of the zone. And Edenfield, again, starting every game this year.
It was a steep learning curve early on in her career, but now in her senior season, you can tell that the game has slowed down, and she's become a great leader for all of those pitchers in the circle.
Lonnie Alameda calls the pitches from the dugout, again has to block it. And there is activity in the Florida State bullpen. No surprise. So Edenfield's career, you talked about it, Jen.
When you talk about Edenfield, she has to manage so many different looks coming out of the circle. Not only does she have to manage the pitches, but the personalities and the needs.
Danley, that was a high throw. Good job by Torres to hang on to get the lead runner. John Rittman started this program, and they got good very quickly. And this is just in this championship. Reese Basinger again getting all 3 starts. 3rd ACC championship game. They played Florida State back in 2023. They lost 8-6 in Pittsburgh. Clemson led, but in the bottom of the 6th, Florida State scored 4 runs. And in 2021, in a masterful game, Duke beat them 1-0. Remember that game? Valerie Cagle, I think, pitched a complete game 2-hitter and took the loss.
You think about the names that graduated out of the program this year for Clemson. Those big names put this program on the map.
Kylie Johnson getting the start in left field up now. In the 2020 season, ultimately canceled, and since then they've been to the NCAA's every single year. A couple of super regionals. Last year they fell in the Tuscaloosa regional, and that gets under the glove of Hartley. Janai Kerr backing up nicely at center, holds Pipkins at second. That's 2 singles for Clemson in this inning.
And the mentality for Clemson is pass the bat. They know that if they don't get it done, the next person in the lineup can. And in that rain-drenched game of yesterday, they showed so much discipline, staying off the pitches, away from the zone, while Lemley could not find a strike. And with that discipline at the plate, got themselves here to the finals.
Jamison Brockenbrough, the number 9 hitter, a Tennessee transfer. 3rd team all-conference this year. Strike call by Alex Leap.
We've seen so many players enter the transfer portal, and the way that Brockenbrough made her way to Clemson was she was recruited actually out of high school by John Rittman, but chose to go to Tennessee. And after that situation at Tennessee did not work out in a way that she wanted, entered the portal, and Coach Rittman knew that that was a player he wanted to get another chance at in her junior year.
Her playing time went down after a good freshman year, and after her sophomore year, she transferred. To play for Coach Rittman. After a conference with coach, she looks at another Danley pitch. Be a big out for Florida State because Alex Brown, the leadoff hitter, is on deck.
Well, and it's a ball left right down the middle, and I wonder if she was expecting a changeup because that ball was right in her wheelhouse, but her timing might have been just a little bit off, and with less than 2 strikes, you lay off.
1-2, that's well inside.
The key to hitting against Danley is picking a speed. If you find yourself in between the fastball and the changeup, you're off all day. So when you take the box, you're looking to hit velocity or changeup, not just staying athletic, but going in with a plan to hit one of those pitches.
Well high, so the count goes full. Danley has already walked 1 batter, which is an anomaly for all of the pitchers on this staff. And that's foul.
I'm sure they'll blame it on the announcer jinx, Pam, because you talked about how they don't walk anyone.
They just don't.
Literally the next batter they put on base with the free pass. So I'm sure you'll get a call from Lonnie.
Yeah. He's just done a wonderful job in the last few years coming up with this philosophy of not just riding starters as long as you can, mixing and matching. And that's the second walk for Danley. The bases are now loaded, and here comes Alex Brown.
When Brown's not the kind of hitter you want to put on the base pass, she leads the team, or see at the plate with the bases full. She leads the team in average and stolen bases. So a ball on the ground, she's going to be able to potentially beat it out.
Our next NWSL match, is tomorrow. It's soccer. Kansas City Current hosts Bay FC. Coverage starts at a special time at 12:50 Eastern Time Pacific on ESPN and ESPN Plus, and you can hear it in both English and Spanish. That's 12:50 Eastern Time on ESPN.
You gonna listen to that one in Spanish, Pam? See?
No. No. How do you say no in Spanish? Is no? Okay, thank you. You just doubled my Spanish words. Alex Brown. Alex Brown struck out, looking to lead off the game against Danley. Maddie Moore's on deck. A big situation early on in this championship game.
Man, that changeup is just so good. An equalizer against these power hitters in the top of the lineup for Clemson.
Now, you were a power hitter. What do you do when you know you're getting a heavy change pitcher? Where do you sit? Or can you?
I never picked change. I always sat fastball.
Just flared at it, and a terrific diving catch by Isa Torres ends the inning and saves at least 1 run.
Huge play up the middle gets Florida State out of a jam. Nice defense by Torres.
Next up, let's go to the line, Trinity.
Go Guardians. Clemson left the bases loaded in the top of the 2nd inning. Isa Torres made a nice play to end the inning. Angeli Bueno, freshman first baseman, leading things off here. Championship game between the top 2 seeds in the ACC. Pardon me, I called her a freshman. She's a sophomore. Only had 15 at-bats last year as a freshman. Hit on the ground to Marion Collins, and she boots it.
One of the things you are always taught as a shortstop is to pick your hop. And in that one, Marion Collins sat back and let the ball play her. This infield has played very nicely all week long, but when you sit back and try to just let the ball come to you, a lot of times it'll eat you up like it did right there.
Boy, Clemson's defense has been shaky.
Beautiful drag bunt by Amaya Ross. We know she's fast, but she exploited a defense that was not ready for the short game. Beautiful play to just put that ball on the ground and let everybody move. The infield seemed to be surprised by that. The third baseman charged hard, but she saw that the first baseman was sitting back, and with that, great opportunity to put another runner on.
Yeah, Ross getting the start today, putting down the bunt, and here's Beecham getting all the way down in the 7th spot for the first time. Started off hitting .353 through her first 37 games. Last 16, just .167. Hits it right at the third baseman, who throws across to get the double play. Brown to Nola.
And that's been the tale of the end of the season right now for Beecham. She is still putting the bat on the ball. She's not getting exploited with the strikeout. But as she puts the barrel on, she squares it up right in the wrong spot, hitting that right to the third baseman who could step on it and go all the way across for 2.
So Hallie Wacaser now with 2 away, and Ross at second. Tries to pick up her team. Wacaser, a redshirt senior.
Earned runs. Yesterday was a game for the ages with all those crazy plays and errors. A lot more runs crossed, but only 2 of them earned.
Wacaser takes a strike. As the sun starts to peek out of the clouds here.
Say that word again.
Sun.
With a Disney reference. Ooh, it tingles me. I've missed the sun. It's been a couple of days.
Now to Wacaser. It's low, and Amaya Ross tries to take the extra base. She is gunned down by Abby Vieira to end the inning.
Trying to exploit a defense that fell asleep on the drag bunt. They didn't fall asleep on that one. Staying home, Alex Brown. Just a catch and tag. Pretty easy out to end the inning.
Like the sun, like a wildfire burning up every living thing that I see.
Lonnie Alameda, what a season it has been for her. On March 31st, revealed that she has been undergoing treatment for breast cancer, and the support all around the country has been really, heart-touching.
1 in 8 women around the country fight this terrible disease, and the way that Lonnie Alameda has been able to open up such a cool platform for letting in the outside world. She shaved her head, allowed her team to do that while they were out in California. And this conversation just embodies who Lonnie Alameda is as she talks to Beecham, who's been struggling at the plate. And that catcher's gear that Abby Vieira, the catcher for Clemson, wearing, a huge nod. But that conversation right there speaking into Beecham, who has struggled at the plate, but is such a good player. AC National Freshman of the Year a season ago.
Jasony grounded into a double play, and her first at bat. Hallie Wacaser back at the plate where she was when Amaya Ross was thrown out trying to steal third to end the inning. So she gets a whack at it, and she really does whack it, but it's well foul.
Wow, I'm going to say you might want to throw a change of speed pitch to Wacaser, because she got all of that one, just a little bit ahead of it. That one could have cleared the scoreboard, but timing just a little bit ahead of that pitch.
Wacaser, 30 hits on the season, 6 of them for home runs. Pretty good ratio. And now she gets a look at a 3-1 pitch from Basinger. right down the middle. Full count, Wacaser leading off here in the third. Sends that one long, deep, and gone. Dead center field for Wacaser, and the Seminoles strike first.
Wacaser hit that one way out of here. That ball left middle of the plate with velocity. And what do you do with that one? It was like it was sitting on a tee. Wacaser teed off on it. She did not play yesterday. Was 0 for 1 in the quarterfinals 2 days ago. That big home run gives her number 7 on the season, eclipsing last year's numbers for her.
Bottom of the order, Christina Hartley, the second baseman. They making a couple of nice plays out there today. So that is home run number 76 for Florida State this season. Pounded on the ground. Alex Brown, low throw, but handled nicely by Noller for the first out. And the sun is shining in Brighton, Massachusetts.
You look at the way that Florida State has won the past couple of days. It's been with the long ball. Those 2 back-to-back home runs by Kerr and Dak in day 1, and then the Edenfield home run in the semis is against Duke. Is this going to be the difference in this game? Both of these teams swinging well, but struggling to push runs across early in this game.
Torres grounded out to Noller at first, and her first at bat this afternoon. Florida State leading the ACC in so many offensive categories this year. First in batting average, runs, RBIs, 13th in the nation in home runs heading into this game. And they've added another one, and then they have that great pitching staff as well.
The key to beating Florida State is just being tenacious at the plate. Their defense is the one Achilles heel that they have to their season this year. They were sitting 7th in the ACC in fielding percentage. At the plate, though, tops in the league.
John Rittman over in the Clemson dugout. His team is been a little shaky defensively. They have 5 errors in the ACC, make it 6 with today.
I'm gonna have to put a little asterisk next to that though, Pam. With the rain yesterday, it made it very difficult to make clean plays, come up with nice, strong throws. I mean, it was a constant rain, and I'm so grateful that we have the sunshine poking through today. But those 5 errors, a little indicative of the weather, not so much the defensive play that Clemson is used to playing with.
That's sent foul down the left field line. Tomorrow we have the final 2 episodes of Full Court Press, Season 2 at 9 and 10 Eastern on ESPN2 and ESPN+. Looking behind the scenes at Notre Dame basketball guard Hannah Hidalgo, Kylee Johnson out of LSU, and Kiki Iriafen, formerly of USC. Always good stuff, and another hard hit ball. Will this be an error? That was hit on right on the screws to Marion Collins. What do you think?
I think that's an error. I think that's a makeable play by the shortstop. It definitely is squared up, a hard hit ball outside part of the plate, but you have to glove that up. It is a one hopper right at you. It goes down as an error on the shortstop.
That's 2 errors, both of them on Collins today. Just one away for Kerr, who sends it into left, and boy, Kylie Johnson was perfectly positioned. They get Kerr on 1 pitch.
Defensive positioning is aided by all of the analytics and the spray charts that coaches are able to print and prepare their defenses with. We've seen some great shifts that hitters have hit right into So being able to place yourself defensively, that analytic piece of the game is now a huge component in preparation.
And Katie Dack just missed that one. She has been a terror this weekend.
I think she's your favorite Seminole at the moment.
I like to watch, you know, you do love, you know, dig the long ball, right? Come on.
I dig the long ball too, but I think you just like saying Dak Jack.
Yes, that would. She has now has moved up to the 3 slot.
I mean, it was a big swing against Georgia Tech, and it was a back-to-back jack, but not by her. Kerr was the batter right before they hit it out, and then the solo shot.
Way over the head of Vieira. The wild pitch sends Torres to second.
Yeah, easy advancement. When you see that ball over the head of the catcher, you better take off, but it's an easy trot in, an additional 60 feet. I'm looking for Florida State to continue to create chaos on the base paths. There are some that like to exploit defenses.
And a huge strikeout for Basinger to strand Torres over at second, but Wacaser went yard.
Yeah, the difference in this ball game was a pitch left right down Main Street. She took the cookie out of here. A 1-0 lead for Florida State.
Welcome back to the ACC on ESPN. It is the Softball Championship, and Clemson has fallen behind Florida State 1-0. Joined now by John Rittman, the head coach for Clemson, and we all expected this as Florida State likes to use a lot of pitchers. You have Apsel coming in. What's your thoughts now about the change?
Yeah, we knew it. They're going to use a lot of pitchers, and certainly they got a lot of depth on their pitching staff. So we're scouted out. We just got to make adjustments here and try to figure this one out better than we did the last one early on here.
Well, not used to seeing those errors in the field for you defensively. What do you need them to do to shore up?
Oh, those are 2 hard hit balls. They could easily been called hits. The first one came up on her and the last one was a rocket. So Mare's a good shortstop. She's going to be fine. And we got out of it. We just, Reese just made one mistake on a drop ball, and good hitter hit it out of the park.
All right, Coach Rittman, thank you very much.
Hey, I want to shout out to my beautiful wife, 33 years today. So happy anniversary, Lori.
Congratulations to Lori and John Rittman. Spending it would make a much happier anniversary if they were able to win their first ACC tournament.
It's true. She'd probably like to go out to dinner and enjoy the day rather than hear about something going the wrong direction for Coach today.
And it's Mother's Day tomorrow, so happy Mother's Day certainly to all of them. And as we alluded to, it's another pitcher for the Seminoles, Julia Apsel.
And when you talk to Coach Rittman, they knew this was going to happen. There's so many quality arms in the pen for Florida State. They are not afraid to use them all.
So Apsel comes in and will face Marion Collins. Here's your scout on her.
With the way that she throws in the circle, throws 64 to 66 miles an hour, spin from the left side. It's an adjustment for these hitters to now face a lefty. Curve will go into righties and away from lefties, but it's that rise and changeup combo that is really hard to distinguish.
She faces Marion Collins, who has the 2 Clemson errors on the day, but they have not hurt them yet. Apsel got the start yesterday in the semifinals against Duke, went 2 2/3 innings, gave up a run unearned. Florida State has not given up an earned run yet in this championship.
And to Coach Rittman's point about Marion Collins, both of the errors that are up on the board for Clemson were off really hard hit balls. And the shortstop, while she is a freshman, she's doing a masterful job over there up the middle. But those 2 balls could have very easily been hit a couple inches either way.
1-2, also foul back. And these 2 teams did not meet during the regular season. And all time, Clemson is 0-7, looking for their first win ever against Florida State. Took a little bit off of it. to strike out Collins. Our next NWSL match is tomorrow as first place Kansas City takes on Bay FC. Coverage begins at a special time, 12:50 p.m. Eastern. It's 9:50 out on the West Coast. It's on ESPN, ESPN Plus in English and Espanol.
See.
Pipkins just got under that one. She's the one who hit the grand slam in the quarterfinals to get the victory over Virginia, but that's handled by Dak.
Well, that one had the height, but not the distance to get out of the yard. Big poke. Second out of the inning.
First time the Clemson hitters seeing Apsel, who is a Hofstra transfer, her first year at Florida State. Kylie Johnson getting the start in left, singled back in the second inning off Danley, the starter. So Widra is number 66. Got 3 pitchers up there now.
Yeah, McKenna Reed in the center.
And Jazzy Franzik
along the outside fence.
Franzik, the freshman, had a no-hitter.
Still up for Freshman of the Year. Made that top 10 list earlier this week. National Freshman of the Year list.
Johnson down 1-2. Went upstairs, couldn't catch up. 2 strikeouts in Apsel's inning. When we come back, we will talk to her head coach, Hallie Wacaser. Welcome back. Bottom of the 4th inning, about to get underway. A home run by Hallie Wacaser giving Florida State a 1-0 lead in this championship game, joined by Lonnie Alameda, the head coach for Florida State. And you made a move in your lineup today, Jason Beecham, for the first time, hitting 7th. Can you just talk about that decision as she's going through a little bit of a stumble right now?
Yeah, I mean, what athlete doesn't go through stumbles, right? But she's given us all she has. She's playing some good defense. She's got some swings in her for us. So we're just trying to manage the lineup best we can for what we're facing and good pitching out here, and, you know, trying to win championships and trying to put us in the best position for next weekend and have some fun too, right?
Well, it's fun to watch you lead your players in the battle. And more than anything, everybody knows that you've got multiple arms in the circle. What goes into that change this last half inning?
Yeah, I mean, they have a good hitting lineup. You know, they've got a lot of momentum going into this game too from what happened, you know, yesterday. And so they're feeling it. So we got to change up some different looks. And Julie's been coming along pretty good for us. And yeah, we'll have everyone ready to go. And what we need, we need to pull in the circle. We'll do it.
Yep, it's been working so far. Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you all.
Good job. Good job. Lonnie Alameda, again, the head coach, gets the ACC Coach of the Year. It's Lonnie Alameda.
And she is the first coach to tell you that it's not her, it's a coaching staff of the year, and she gives a nod to each of the members of her coaching staff: Travis Wilson, Troy Cameron, Kaylee Rafter, the 4 coaches at Florida State, doing such a good job of just not only teaching all areas of the game, but mentoring amazing women in the program.
One hopper starts things off for Edenfield. And yes, Lonnie always deflects attention. And you mentioned Kaylee Rafter, one of her assistants, is the head coach of the Canadian team. She's from Guelph, Ontario. And Lonnie helped with the pitching in that for Team Canada. Edenfield with a classic line drive leads off the 4th.
And a quality power hitter, understands her role as a leadoff in this inning, just doesn't try to elevate, but with the ball left high, keeps her approach right on line, driving it to left field. And out in left, Kylie Johnson, smart enough to know not to do too much, just keep it in front and get it back in.
Edenfield, puts on the sliding mitt.
Pam, I think we're going to see a pitching change with Basinger giving up that leadoff hit. It seems as though Florida State has timed her up in the circle.
This is second time through the lineup. He's given up 4 hits. Got an inning-ending double play in the second inning. And it is Basinger exiting and Brook McCubbin entering. We'll have more on Brook when we come back to Boston. John Rittman has gone to his pen again, and it's McCubbin.
McCubbin has thrown in both of the games that Clemson has played here at the ACC Championship. She's been the reliever in both of those, throwing 3 innings against Virginia and 3 1/3 against Virginia Tech. She was the pitcher of note when it was raining the hardest yesterday in that semifinal matchup.
Yes, Rittman has only used those 2 pitchers, Basinger and McCubbin. As we look at her scout.
And McCubbin, because of how well she throws and mixes her speed, she's got 2 different off-speed pitches, also has a true changeup.
Bueno hits it slowly to Moore, so she has no choice but to go to first. Edenfield now down at second.
It's that change of speed that will prevent a lot of barrel getting squared up on these balls. The way that Brook McCubbin is able to throw, she's got a curve, a rise, and a drop. But when she is attacking the zone, you never know the velocity that you're going to be facing. It's hard as a hitter to get your barrel through the zone on time.
Maya Ross singled off starter Reese Basinger, and she just got hit. So 2 on, 1 away, and another chance for Jason E. Beecham.
We've not seen a ton of free passes by Clemson, but when you try to ride a hitter up and in, you do not have to get out or make an attempt to get out of the way. So as the ball rides in on the box, it just clips that left shoulder or left elbow.
Last time Beecham was up in the 2nd inning, there were 2 on, or 1 on, pardon me. No, there were 2, and there was a double play on the first pitch. And now another opportunity with runners on base. Beecham dropped to the 7th slot in the order.
But moving her in the order does not take away the faith and belief that Lonnie Alameda has in this sophomore for Florida State. She is one of the best bats in this lineup, and for some reason has not been able to be successful in her last 16 games.
She is now 8 for her last 49. And hits it again over to the left side, bounced, and they're saying Noller was off the bag.
Your priority as a defender is always ball first, and I appreciate the way that Julia Noller came off the bag to make sure that that ball was secured. It was a hard shot right down the line to get an easy touch of third base, but I don't know if she touched third base, Pam. And she never went back to touch the base, but Edenfield gave herself up by walking back to the dugout and off the bag to receive that catch over there at first base. Neither bag touched, but because of the way Edenfield gave herself up, she's automatically out.
So Beecham reaches on a fielder's choice. Wacaser hit a home run to center field in her first at bat. So Edenfield out at third, scored as a 5 unassisted.
And we talked to John Rittman about this hit. He said, you know what? Reese Basinger threw a drop ball and left it big against a good hitter. So when you send it down the middle, that ball has a chance to leave the yard.
And she hit that off of Basinger, the starter who has left the game.
Well, I'm missing my opportunity to sound like I'm from Boston. She left the yard. Round tripper.
There's Basinger.
I have to take advantage. We've only got this game left in Boston.
This is it.
I mean, that ball left the park.
Before you hit downtown.
It's been so fun getting parked here every day because the parking attendants say, you want to park here? You want to go park somewhere else down the lot, down in the other lot.
Yeah, they've been great.
Love the way that the hospitality here has been taking care of us, Pam.
Craig and the rest of the guys out there doing all the parking.
Our favorite parking attendant, Craig.
Full count. Florida State has left 2 on in the previous 3 innings. And a parade of hard-hit ground balls down the third baseline for Wacaser. And she keeps fighting off McCubbin.
Well, that tells you McCubbin is manipulating her speeds as she gets Wacaser out ahead of it. Little velocity might surprise her, though.
8th pitch of the at-bat. And she pops it up into short left field. Johnson grabs it. Florida State strands 2. It's 1-0 as we head to the 5th.
To have to play in the conditions they had yesterday to make it to today in this beautiful day here in Boston.
Now, a lot of SEC teams definitely going to get in. We will find out tomorrow night. Selection special at 7 Eastern time. Meanwhile, low-scoring game. 1-0, a Wacaser home run is its. Rockenborough, the number 9 hitter, walked against departed starter Ashton Danley. Julia Apsel out there to start her 2nd inning. She had 2 strikeouts in her 1-2-3 top of the 4th. Championship Saturday in Brighton, Massachusetts, here in the Boston area. Pam Ward and Jenny Dalton-Hill. Julia Apsel in the circle. Florida State going for its 20th tournament championship in the ACC. Clemson 0-2 in their finals appearances. And it is a Hallie Wacaser home run that she hit on a drop ball to center field in the 2nd inning. That's all the offense. Clemson has left 4 runners on. Florida State 4 as well. Top 2 seeds. We had no upsets in this tournament. Hartley's ball. Almost an upset yesterday. Clemson down 7 in the bottom of the 6th. Came back to win it.
That big 6th inning. Emma Lemley entered the game to try to keep things, get 1 out. She entered the game to get 1 out. She had a 6-run lead at the time. And Pam, she could not find her grip. 4 consecutive walks and a hit batter relieved with the game tied 9-9. Her replacement gave up another walk to walk in the winning run.
Virginia Tech pitchers in that semifinal game yesterday, 13 walks, 6 of them coming in that bottom of the 6th inning, 4 of them in a row given up by Lemley, and then the next batter she hit by a pitch, and then she was taken out of the game. So we've seen this from Lonnie Alameda, making some switches defensively in the outfield.
Janai Kerr in left field.
And now Allie DeLong in center. Top of the order now, Alex Brown. 0 for 2 with a strikeout and then a line out, and a nice play by Torres with the bases loaded. Didn't get a lot of the bat on the ball, so Torres just enough time, but it still was an outstanding diving play to rob her of a hit, and Clemson left him loaded. Alex Brown at the plate, played her freshman year at North Carolina, and now in her 3rd season, a senior at Clemson. And the changes in the outfield necessitated because Kennedy Harp is out, got hurt, and she collided with her teammate Katie Dack out in the outfield in Louisville late in the season, and that's heartbreaking that they're not going to be able to use her for the rest of the year.
That's a huge loss for them. She was the RBI leader. She had the 2nd most stolen bases on the year with an average over 400.
Hartley has to charge, gloves it. Fine play by the second baseman. We've seen some pretty good second basemen in this championship.
I tell you what, second base is where it's at. If you want to be a defender and have a big bat, it's a nice little spot to show off the athleticism. A little dramatic, but a great play over there at second base.
You'd never do that, right?
Only if I trip.
Drama queen you.
That's a great play by the second baseman.
It certainly is, by Hartley taking over for Devin Flaherty, who was so good in the infield.
So many names graduating off of the Florida State roster as well. But
here's another second baseman for you, Maddie Moore.
is it wrong to have favorites?
Maddie Moore says she loves playing defense. More so, she would rather make a great play in the field than have a great offensive play. How about that? I love defense more than offense. You don't hear that very often.
Well, she says she puts so much time into her glove work. She takes pride in how good she can be defensively. Maybe it's because offense comes a little bit easier to her because she swings a great stick.
So good. 0 for 2 so far today. A couple of ground outs, but the first time she's faced Apsel. First team All ACC performer for the second year in a row, Maddie Moore. Goes down swinging. Boy, this pitching staff for Florida State, scary.
Nasty off speed, takes advantage of a really good hitter at the plate. Another strikeout, third one of the day.
Annie Potter is going to pinch hit for Hartley as we start things off here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Pops it up, gloved nicely by Brown to start the 5th.
Angles is so important in the infield because it gives you the opportunity to come away with that one. Off the bat, it looks sharp, but got jammed up. A soft little hit over there to the left side. Nice approach by both the third baseman Brown and shortstop Collins.
Top of the order now, and Isa Torres reached on an error in her last at bat. No hits, 2 hits. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 errors for Clemson, 1-4-0 for Florida State. The Wacaser home run, the only offense we've had so far that's crossed the plate.
And it was a mistake. Your job as a hitter is to hit a pitcher's mistake. And with that big swing, it was a drop ball left right down the middle, belt high. A perfect hitter's pitch. She took advantage over the center field wall.
First time Torres has faced Brook McCubbin, who for the 3rd day in a row has relieved his starter, Reese Basinger. Full count with Janai Kerr on deck. Right up the middle. Nice play by McCubbin because that looked like it was headed for center field. Torres retired.
I always love playing behind a good defensive pitcher. McCubbin gloving that one up. You're right, Pam. She saved it from going to the outfield, helping herself out in the circle.
All right, Janai Kerr has been up twice and has swung at the first pitch both times. But that was against Basinger. Let's see what she does here.
Cat-like reflexes out of the circle to get that out.
Took a pitch for the first time today.
Well, she got exploited in her first at-bat, swinging at the first one, popped it up, got herself out really quick, and know that that was not the way that she had scripted it.
Ooh, pulling the string.
Man, a changeup that is able to spin with tight spin, fools the eye, making you think it's coming in with velocity. Got Kerr on a big swing for that first strike of the at-bat.
Kerr has had RBIs in both the quarterfinal and semifinal games here, including a home run. And Dak waits on deck. Another full count for McCubbin. Hits solidly into center field for a 2-out single. Kerr's first hit of the day, and that brings up Dak.
And Kerr was a little bit ahead of this one, but athletic enough to slow up her swing to catch enough of the barrel to power it out to the outfield. She was ahead of that one. McCubbin had taken a little bit off of that pitch, but strong Kerr drove that ball, little bloop into center.
Dak with a single and a strikeout as she fouls one off her foot.
This is a part in the lineup with back-to-back huge hitters, and she wears the protective guard on the lower part of her leg, but I think she fouled that one off her thigh. She was jammed up big on that one, wore it off that front side.
Another foul ball. Alex Leap gave her a little bit of extra time, said something that made Katie laugh, and then he went out and brushed off the plate.
Been so impressed with the umpiring crew here this week. We've got 6 on the field today. 1 at every base, 2 down the line, and then the other 2 umpires are on the pitch clock and on replay review. So all 8 umpires here at the ACC Championship are being utilized today.
With Kerr over at first, and yet another full count.
When that comes from mature at-bats, fouling things off when they're close to the plate, and then being disciplined on balls coming outside of the zone.
3rd straight full count for McCubbin in this inning. Upstairs, 2 on for Edenfield.
Just the first walk given up by McCubbin, but I'm not upset with that walk, knowing what kind of bat was at the plate. The problem is you're not at a part of the lineup where you get any reprieve, as now Edenfield will step into the box. I think that's why you're seeing a visit to the circle by the assistant coach, Kyle Jamison, to come out and talk about how to attack the redshirt senior Edenfield.
Yeah, Michaela Edenfield has been such a big part of this Florida State program, both as a catcher and as a hitter, and known for this too. Always has a different theme for her makeup every game.
She calls it the razzle dazzle. It's been neat to see the young girls coming out to the park here this week to get pictures with Michaela and be able to meet someone that is inspiring them to show out their uniqueness in a very visual way.
Yeah, we talked to her earlier in the tournament, and we had to play really early yesterday, 10 a.m. They love her. Moved up because of rain that came in, and we asked her what the theme was because it looked pretty. She said, well, quick turnaround. She'd get up really early, but she had the green eyeshadow because it was her grandfather's favorite color, lucky color. And she hit a home run.
Today, sporting the ACC logo, proud of the conference that she plays in. And when she does her makeup, she does it in a mirror. She has to do it backwards in the mirror. So very talented makeup artist.
She's an artist. Pops it. Did not get all of it. Edenfield flies out to left to end the inning. Florida State leaves 2 more. This is the ACC on ESPN, the softball championship game between the top two seeds, Clemson and Florida State. Standing room only, an advanced sellout for this championship game. Pitchers duel, Clemson heading to the NCAA tournament for the 5th straight year. All 5 years there have been a tournament since they've been in existence. And that's a great resume, especially Jenny Dalton-Hill, since they started 3-6.
They started 3-6 and then came back with a 40-6 record to finish the season. They have been trending up all season long. At the beginning of the year, John Rittman knew that they were going to take their lumps. A lot of freshmen and sophomores in the lineup that had been sitting behind or waiting to play. Some really big names that were pillars of the Clemson softball legacy. This year getting an opportunity to play. And with that opportunity, it was difficult for them to be able to find ways to learn those lessons quickly. But you see that slow start, started 3-6. And in the last 46 games, coming away with a 40 spot. The second weekend at Clearwater, difficult showing for them there as well. They went just 1-4 against top talent in the second weekend of the season. But those lessons have paid dividends here down the stretch as they head into the postseason.
Julia Noller down 1-2 to Apsel, who has retired all 6 batters she has faced since relieving Danley, the starter. And 3 of the 6 batters she has struck out. Clemson has not gotten a hit since Kylie Johnson singled in the 2nd inning off the starter Danley, who pitched the first 3 innings. But they're only down 1-0. Florida State has stranded 6 in 5 innings. Two. Another 2-2 on the way to Noller. Waited on it. Pitch number 8 in this at-bat. And Noller fouls that one off. Lots of souvenirs today.
Oh, and a catch in the stands.
Well,
unfortunately, it's not like Savannah ball. It does not go down as an out. No Savannah banana ball here in the stands at the ACC tournament. Maybe we can put that in for the rule changes. That would make it fun.
At least they don't wrest them from their hands like some places do.
Bitter Betty.
Always. 9th pitch. We're going to get at least 10. Come on.
If you just go to the parking lot, there's another souvenir now out there. That one cleared the booth.
So this is showing you that Noller is timing the ball well? Or what's it showing you?
She's timing it, but she's just missing her spot. The way that you attack a pitcher like this in the circle, you've got to stay in your legs. Do not have a huge pre-motion. And that's exactly what she's doing. She's not got a big load going on right now. Short to the ball, allowing Apsel to dictate the timing of her swing. Very mature at bat for the sophomore.
And the load is what, getting your legs in position?
The load is just that negative motion or the move away from the front of the plate. You want to make sure that you get in your legs and stay back.
Full count.
Very disciplined at the plate. Very impressive the way that the sophomore is stepping into the box and just spoiling the offerings by Apsel.
12th pitch of this leadoff at bat in the top of the 6th inning. And Noller as patient and disciplined as they come, gets the bases on balls.
And look who's in the stands, Pam. We've got some Florida State royalty, Megan King.
And of course she's smiling.
Well, that's kind of her MO. Always loved the way that she took the circle for Florida State. Part of the 2018 National Championship team. Two-time All-American. A career 1.66 ERA.
That just doesn't sound right. That's good, right?
That's pretty good. 78-14 record in the circle.
So Clemson is pinch running Kennedy Ariel for Noller. She represents the tying run. Cintron comes up. Cintron's first time facing Apsel. Still looking for their first hit in their top 4 hitters. Cintron is the cleanup hitter. She's down 0-2 and goes down on 3 pitches.
It is so hard to make adjustments at the plate. And when you talk about facing a pitcher for the first time in the game, you realize that the first time through the lineup, these hitters all went off of Ashton Danley. Now the second time through the lineup, they're facing Julia Apsel. So they're struggling to make adjustments against a new pitcher, and that's the one thing we told you to watch for. Florida State is anticipating those batter adjustments, and so far, Clemson unable to make those quick adjustments at the plate.
Apsel has struck out 4 of the 8 batters she has faced since coming on in relief. Vieira a single and a ground out against the starter, Danley. And remember, it was the 6th inning yesterday where the magic came for Clemson.
Yeah, the one piece of the puzzle that's missing, though, Pam, I do not want to see again.
Rainfall.
It was a pretty nasty day that both of those teams had to endure to make it here to the finals.
And they played through it. Pleasant day today. Kerr diving in foul territory. Great attempt, but just couldn't catch up. A long way to go to get it.
Well, and the outfield here is turf at Boston College, and with that, it's been playable the entire week. Even though we've seen so much rain, it's been great to be able to keep the outfield playable. It's just been the infield that we've had to manicure and keep ready to go. But the grounds crew here at Boston College has done such a good job of just trying to keep these games on time and give these athletes a quality surface to play on.
Hit into right field, and it's just foul. We have that extra umpire down the line. That is Tatum Stolting, and she got a good look at it. Boy, was that close.
I mean, this is one of the advantages of being the finals. You've got 6 umpires on the field, and she's right. Just beyond the foul line. Great call by Tatum Stolting in the perfect position with her eyes cued right on it. Woo, that was close.
Great looks from our crew, and Vieira goes upstairs. 5 strikeouts.
Well, and it's back-to-back strikeouts on the rise ball. You can tell that these Clemson hitters are starting to press a little bit as they get down to their last 2 innings of play in terms of at the plate. Just 4 outs now for Clemson to play with.
Ariel, the pinch runner, takes off from first. Edenfield throws down. That's a perfect throw. You couldn't have drawn it up better as Edenfield guns down Ariel to end the inning.
Celebrated by all of her teammates as they head back to the dugout. I mean, she's been catching a lot of strikes, but she throws a perfect one down to second base and get Florida State back in the dugout. The difference in this ballgame happened back in the third inning. A drop ball left right down Main Street. A huge home run swing by Hallie Wacaser. Florida State sits with a 1-0 advantage. Is it going to be able to hold through the last inning and a half?
Wacaser getting the start today. And you see the summary, not a whole lot. You see the top 4 hitters, 0 for the Tigers. The Seminoles 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. They left 6 on, but Wacaser hit that home run, and that is the only scoring we have had in this championship game. Cam Ward, Jenny Dalton-Hill, on a nice breezy afternoon, about 63 degrees right now. But at least it's dried out. We had to start about a half hour late, pardon me, because of the rain. There's a small craft advisory, though, in effect.
Don't worry, I will not be getting on the boat.
Out. Okay. McCubbin in the circle facing first baseman Angeli Bueno to start things off. McCubbin was the first batter that Bueno faced when she came in to relieve Basinger in the 4th, and she got her to ground out.
I like the idea to go to that changeup pitch, but unable to locate it at the knees. Another ball.
Hard hit. McCubbin fields her position well. First out of the 6th.
And she's just so calm in the circle. She delivers velocity, but after she delivers the ball, she just does such a good job of being defensive ready, and these comebackers back to the circle.
And Brook McCubbin, a senior from Locust Grove, Georgia, 3rd team all-conference.
Yeah, off the knob of the bat, she knew it too. She didn't even try to take advantage and go down the line. Your job as a hitter is to stay in there and get ready, taking your hands almost down the line of the batter's box closest to the plate. Did not hit her. Ricochet off the knob of the bat. It's a strike.
McCubbin did hit Ross in Amaya's first at bat against her today. That's fair ball, knocked down by Brown, who threw over.
You always have to run it out. So they're going to take that to review. Now remember, you can only take a fair foul ball to review if it is ruled fair on the field.
Yeah, Ross didn't even try to get out of there, thinking it was fouled off her foot.
Florida State is appealing that the ball went off the batter's foot. The play is under review.
Our replay umpire, video review, is Roger Potts here on site.
Well, that would make sense, Pam, why Ross didn't take off right out of the box, because she knew that it hit the foot. If it had just hit off of the ground, I think she would have taken off right away, because that's not the kind of player Ross is. She doesn't take plays off, but that hard ball, she felt like was off the top of her foot. So much dirt kicks up, it makes it hard to tell.
And the question is, is there enough video to overturn the call?
Well, and typically when a player gets hit, they'll go down with a little bit of pain, and she just kind of hit it and stood there, which she thought it was going to be a dead ball anyway. Everybody else in the park played it out.
Maya Ross, a senior from Jacksonville, Florida.
After review, the call on the field is upheld. We had no contact with the batter.
Well, she is thrown out for the 2nd out of the inning. So nobody on, for the first time today when Jason Beecham hits. And she gets a hit. A huge sigh of relief for Beecham, who has really struggled in the last several games.
And a hug of relief to her assistant coach over there at first base, Joy Cameron. I mean, this is not the kind of at-bats or plate appearances that Beecham's used to. I know that took a monkey off her back for sure.
And now DeLong hits for the first time after replacing Wacaser out in left field. And we've seen this before with Coach Alameda. She has a player, usually Wacaser, who hits a home run and then she takes her out of the game.
Well, and it's not about performance.
No.
She's making shifts because this is the defensive replacement that they use to hold a lead. So while she has trust in both of these bats at the plate, DeLong typically finishes games.
Drawn in infield, gloved by Collins to strand Beecham. Last chance coming up for Clemson. Taylor Pipkins hit a granny earlier in this tournament. And she is coming up second. They need some more magic here in this championship game. Alex was such a great player for Florida State and apparently did not bring her own coat.
Yeah, well, and Florida State's not going to give her one so she can rep her school.
A way to go, BC, for helping her out.
That's right. Props to this BC administration who's done such a good job of keeping up with all of the weather changes and the field maintenance. It's been executed perfectly, and the grounds crew has been stellar this weekend.
Marion Collins leading off here in the sixth against Apsel. She was at bat when Michaela Edenfield threw out Kennedy Ariel trying to steal second to end the sixth. Just 2 hits for Clemson in this game. One by Abby Vieira, the other by Kylie Johnson. Both of those coming off the departed starter, Ashton Danley. And the pitching staff for Florida State has been good all year, and so good here that they have only given up 2 runs, and both of those were unearned.
That's what Florida State does. They disrupt timing at the plate, and once a team starts to figure out a pitcher in the circle, they make a change. They made a change after the first time through.
They shut out Georgia Tech 8-0 in 6 innings in the quarterfinal. And in the semifinal yesterday, won 3-2 against Duke. Both of Duke's runs were unearned.
And this is the first hitter that Clemson has that is now seeing Apsel for the second time.
And that's a leadoff walk. The tying run is on first.
Huge opportunity for Clemson. It's the bottom of the lineup that's come through with a couple of hits. Are they going to be able to do so with that leadoff walk? We know that they started the last half inning with a leadoff walk.
Pinch runner Ava Wilson goes out to first for Collins. That's the 5th walk given up by Florida State pitchers today, which is highly unusual. And another pitching change, Jazzy Francic, the freshman, coming in to try to nail down this championship game. Had a no-hitter against Virginia Tech, the final weekend of the regular season. She and Michaela Edenfield, they've had a great relationship. They both talk about how they have helped each other, and What a big position for the freshman.
Yeah, the composed freshman taking the circle to close this one out for Florida State.
Jazzy Franzik trying to pick up her 8th save. And what a huge one it would be.
Lonnie Alameda took time to get the lefty freshman comfortable in the circle early in the year, but has relied on her heavily down the stretch. It's the mix of speeds that makes Jazzy Franzik so good. To be just a freshman in college and have the dynamic maturity to be able to manipulate her own speeds and the velocities in which she throws them. She is beyond her years in terms of the way that she is throwing in the circle, and that is why she is being brought in right now to the circle for Florida State as this Clemson team trying to swing to extend this game. Last 3 outs for Clemson.
And Franzik in that top 10 for National Freshman of the Year, a top 10 finalist. Jason E. Beecham won it last year for Florida State.
Quality players in the ACC coming in, these young talents making names for themselves early across the nation.
Taylor Pipkins hit a grand slam in the come-from-behind win against Virginia in the quarterfinals. And she is facing her 3rd pitcher of the day. And again, they did not play in the regular season, so it's the first time they've seen any of these pitchers for the young Clemson players. And remarkably, this is only the 8th game that Florida State and Clemson have ever played against each other.
With how good both of these programs are, you would have expected that they played every year, but in ACC play, prior to Stanford and Cal coming in, they had 4 teams they did not play each year. Now with the addition of the 2 teams, 6 teams they do not play.
Franzik Conley comes in and fans Pipkins.
So frustrating as a hitter to never be able to step in and feel comfortable, and that's exactly why Florida State makes the changes that they do. They never want a hitter to step in the box and feel like they have the advantage. So going to Franzik here is not because Apsel was doing poorly. It's simply to exploit the Clemson hitters.
Big swing by Johnson. Those of you tuning in to see Vanderbilt, Tennessee baseball, that game is getting started now on ESPNU. And when this ACC championship game is over, we'll switch back. And if you want to see baseball, go to the U. But this is better. Title on the line. Kylee Johnson has one of the 2 hits for Clemson this afternoon. Top 2 seeds in the ACC. Fouled right over our heads. Franzik gets ahead 1-2. Florida State fans saying K-time.
That is a chant you will hear in Tallahassee at the home games. They've brought that chant here to Brighton as they try to will their team to another ACC championship title.
Another foul ball off the bat of Johnson.
The difficult part about facing Franzik in the circle is the fact that she throws so many speeds between 48 and 68 miles an hour. When you're almost touching 70 miles an hour, that's elite level speed, but the way that she is able to manipulate each of her pitches and throw different speeds, it's a lesson that she learned actually off of a brick wall. Her mom and a brick wall were her teachers growing up in terms of how to learn how to pitch. And with those lessons, it's actually been one of the things she's had to work on is how to communicate with people, because the brick wall didn't say much.
Another 1-2 pitch on the way to Johnson with Ava Wilson over at first. Just misses. Yeah, we had a chance to talk to Jazzy after her no-hitter, and you asked her about the brick wall. She said, I miss my brick wall.
The brick wall doesn't
take
talk
it with
back.
her, right? And she couldn't take it with her to Tallahassee. She's from Rockledge, Florida. Went to Florida State camps growing up. That ball is crushed into deep center field. And Kylie Johnson with 1 out in the 7th inning, and 1 swing gives Clemson the lead.
Young talent coming through in a big moment, the sophomore for Clemson. You know, she struggled early in the season and was taken out of the lineup. But she is a hitter that Coach Rittman said had all the tools, learning those lessons early, now paying off. Her 5th home run of the year comes at the perfect time as they now have the 1-run lead.
And those are the first earned runs that Florida State has given up in this championship tournament. Clemson, the comeback kids so far in Brighton, Massachusetts. Here's Brockenbrough. They had to come from behind 3 times against Virginia to win in the quarters. Came from 7 down in the 6th inning yesterday to beat Virginia Tech in the semis, and they get the 2-run home run here in the 7th.
Just 3 hits in this game, but they exploit an opportunity with a pitch left big. And Noller guessed right on velocity. Both of the home runs we've seen in this game going out to the deepest part of the yard.
Lots of hugs in that Clemson dugout as they are now 3 outs away from their first ACC championship. Brockenbrough caught looking.
We talked about
strikeout, pardon me for Franzik.
It's the thing we talked about before the game, Pam, what these teams needed to focus on. We knew that Florida State would use a lot of arms in the circle, but Clemson, who is trying to find that resiliency payoff, again, another comeback win, if they can hold off Florida State in the bottom half of this inning.
Top of the order, and Alex Brown, in that last cutaway we had. Paul Drusniak, our director, one of the Clemson fans, he grabbed his chest and said, "Oh my God, my heart." It's like he can't take it. He read his lips. They were on the brink. Down 1 with just 2 hits coming into the 7th inning. The leadoff walk to Collins chased Apsel. Francis came in, got a strikeout, but then Johnson's 2-run home run. There he is.
His heart is still beating. He's breathing.
You know what they would call it here?
What?
A ticka. Oh. His ticker's
His ticker's ticking.
big time. His top of the lineup has gone 0 in this game for the Tigers. The bottom picking them up. Hit hard, but right at Torres for the final out. Right now, Kylie Johnson, with that 2-run homer, has turned this thing around. And Florida State is now 3 outs away.
Huge swing. Clemson was back to the wall, come through with a big swing. And now a 1-run lead.
Big swing in the 7th inning. It's Kylie Johnson with the 2-run home run to give Clemson the 2-1 lead. And the ball went so far out of the ballpark, it went into the parking lot of an adjacent building, and it's still sitting there.
Yeah, there's a souvenir laying out there. Anybody wants it. Oh, we have a fan walking beyond the fence.
I think Kylie Johnson should get it.
Oh, Pam, it looks like somebody just picked it up.
Annabelle Widra pinch hitting to start things off here in the 7th, the 9-1-2 slots. And Widra delivers off McCubbin, and here comes the top of the order.
Annabelle Widra has been a spark plug for this Florida State team all season long. The transfer coming over from Auburn.
Two-way player, started the quarterfinal against Georgia Tech in the circle, and now delivers in a big way to start the 7th. Here's Issa Torres. 7 hits for Florida State. A Wacaser home run back in the 3rd. All of their offense. The 2-run shot by Kylie Johnson in the top of the 7th. All the scoring for Clemson. Torres hit to the shortstop, not in time. Collins' throw just a shade late. The first 2 are on for the Noles.
And the reason that play developed so slowly is because she was out in front of the contact. I think this was a ball that had a little bit taken off of it. She was way ahead of it. Because of that slow developing play at the shortstop position, Torres able to use her speed down the line, clearly safe. This is a big moment for Florida State.
Now comes John Rittman. Good call down there by Craig Hyde, part of our 6-person umpiring crew. Here's your scoring summary. Top 4 hitters not doing it, but Kylie Johnson, who got the start today in the number 8 slot with the 2-run homer. Seminoles not getting timely hits, but they got a Wacaser solo shot. This is also hitting in the 8th slot, so it's been 2 number 8 hitters doing it.
Well, this is what championship ball looks like. You're looking for quality pitching in the circle. Very limited hits because of the way that the pitchers are throwing. And both of these head coaches, seasoned veterans. John Rittman was the head coach at Stanford for many years. Lonnie Alameda, one of his assistants before she went on to be the head coach at UNLV and then taking over the reins at Florida State.
And Janai Kerr had a 2-run home run in the quarterfinal win over Georgia Tech. She comes up with 2 on and nobody out. The corners crowding in, perhaps a bunt on the way. Anticipating the possibility, but she shows no sign of it.
It was a big home run against Georgia Tech. You know, this is just a quality hitter at the plate. That home run was number 9 on the year.
Takes it inside from McCubbin.
But the way that the defense is playing Kerr at the plate, they have the corners pulled in case she's trying to drop any kind of drag bunt to move the runners. That's a scary spot against a big hitter. Our producer got in my headset yesterday and asked, how close can those corners play? And there's no limit on how close you can be. But with 2 strikes on Kerr now, you can anticipate they'll be playing deep, trying to use a little bit more lateral move to pick out anything on the ground.
2-2. Lunged at it. Did she swing? No. The appeal down.
That's a good call. Down the line, Scott Mayer.
That's a foul ball.
And it did come up and hit Janai Kerr, but it hit her in the box, so that's a legal spot. It's an immediate dead ball. Everybody stays reset.
Florida State has not lost a game all year when they led after 6 innings. They've only lost 8 times all year, 3 times in the ACC. Kerr with the blast, but not enough. Just got under it. First out, but they're not out of the woods yet because here comes Katie Dack.
No, you got 3 hitters back to back to back that have the potential to drive the ball out of the park. This is a spot where McCubbin has to make sure she does not make any mistakes in the circle against these heavy hitters for Florida State.
The Noles are now 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position in this game.
And when did Dack's jack come? Well, it came right after Janai Kerr. They went back to back with the home runs in the quarterfinals. I like that point by McCubbin, giving credit to Vieira back there behind the plate to keep that ball in front. So important to have a catcher that can be a wall behind the dish.
McCubbin has both wins in this tournament for Clemson, both of them coming in relief of Basinger, who also started today. And she's trying to make it 3 for 3 if she can hang on here in the bottom of the 7th.
Both of those pitchers for Clemson, seniors this year. Basinger, the starter, coming over as the senior transfer from Winthrop. Brook McCubbin, the senior, who spent all of her time at Clemson.
2-2 with 2 on. That just keeps hacking.
So is that a Dak hack
Absolutely.
instead of a Dak jack?
Edenfield on deck. Oh, the Clemson fans wanting that to be called. Didn't get it.
It was a close pitch,
It was low.
but it was low.
Full count to Dak. Clobbered it, but well fouled. That went into the Florida State bullpen, where fortunately there weren't a lot of people hanging out.
Well, and Dak does not get cheated. She is not a hitter to just make contact. She is hacking at the plate. That ball was absolutely stung.
Another full count. There's strike 3.
Masterful pitch, bottom of the zone, and that one was perfect. Great call. Dak goes down with the barrel on her shoulder.
Edenfield in the air, playable. Brockenbrough squeezes it, and for the first time, the Clemson Tigers have won the ACC Tournament Championship. The Cardiac Comeback Kids, all 3 wins in come-from-behind fashion, this time on a 7th inning home run by Johnson.
This is a group that does not give in and does not get phased when the innings get late. They believe from start to finish. What a huge performance by the Clemson Tigers. 3 comeback wins here at the tournament, setting themselves up for a great opportunity for a huge, deep run in the postseason.
McCubbin gets her 3rd straight victory, all in relief. Clemson had lost its last 2 and only 2 championship game appearances, including one to Florida State a couple years ago. And McCubbin gonna, I think, hang on to that trophy for a while.
Clemson coming away with their first ACC championship title, the automatic qualifying bid to the postseason, and they have set themselves up in a really nice way to have a lot of confidence moving in to the NCAA tournament.
You will see Michaela Edenfield, Lonnie Alameda, and the rest of the Seminoles get a very high seed, but a disappointing ending. First time they were 30-0, entering the 7th inning with a lead this year. This is the first time they blew a late lead.
It's all about pitching, and out of the circle, you can't make mistakes, especially this time of the year.
So Florida State falls. Another dramatic win for Clemson. They take it 2-1. Jenny Dalton-Hill, the rest of our great crew, Scott Koulis, Paul Jersniak and company, I'm Pam Ward, as we say so long, Clemson are the champions.